Wild River, Chapter 38, The Most Dangerous Thing. Hush, Deke says. He turns in a slow circle, trying to determine where the cry for help came from. It hasn't been repeated, at least not in the last minute or so. Was it something we imagined? Something we wanted to hear so bad that we mistook the cry of a bird? No, it was real. Whoever it is, she's probably injured. Maybe she passed out. We have to find her. Deke holds out his hands. Untie me so I can help. You want to find out if I can be trusted? Here's your chance. Another noise or sound. Not a cry, but a faint whimper, somewhere close. Mia says, Fine, Daniel. I take out my jackknife, open the blade, and cut the rope from his wrists. Instantly, he runs to a debris pile and starts pulling aside broken branches. Hey, we're here! Make a noise and we'll find you! But there are no more sounds. No cries for help. No whimpers. Deke, frantic, gets all the way to the bottom of that debris pile. Nothing there but busted trees and some small boulders from the flood. She has to be here! Deke cries out. Make a noise! Please make a noise! Silence. Amani speaks quietly. Sound carries over the water. It can fool you, right? You think something is close, but it's not. Deke is frustrated. What are you saying? Maybe that cry for help came from the other side of the river, she points. There's flood stuff over there, too. She's right, at least about the debris piles on the opposite shore. But how do we get there with no raft? Rope, Deke says. Tie the rope to my waist. But we just cut it loose, Mia says impatiently. Just do it. We need to hurry. Nobody else dies, not today. We retie the rope to his waist and add another full coil of rope from the backpack. The river is narrowed to maybe 50 yards across, but the current has increased. Deke picks his spot and slogs into the water, standing strong against the current. Shallow here, he shouts. I can make it. Mia and I secure the rope, letting it out as he advances. Amani is on the riverbank, ready to jump in if necessary. She claims she's a strong swimmer and has passed a lifeguard rescue test. Deke is right about the shallow water. The water never gets more than waist high. He slips once or twice, but always regains his footing. Before long, he clambers onto the opposite riverbank and shakes himself like a dog. Come on over, the water's fine, he shouts. I've got this end of the rope. I need your help to find her, please. The three of us take a vote. Can it cross the river or not? This is the most dangerous thing we've done since the raft, Mia reminds me. We have to do it, Amani insists. A life may depend on it. Daniel? I say we go for it. It means trusting Deke at the other end of the rope. I know I do trust him, at least about this. We put our hands together and make our pledge. All agreed, one for all and all for one. 10 minutes later, we're safely across, soaked to the skin, chilled by the powerful current, but safe on the other side. Deke is eager to get to work. Dan, grab the other end and lift. I heard somebody under there, I swear. I take hold of a large tree branch and put my shoulder under it. I lift with all my strength while Deke does the same thing on the other end. Slowly, the big branch rises, bringing with it a mass of wet leaves. There, I see her, Deke shouts. Pull her out while we hold this up. Hurry, careful, careful, she's badly hurt. Deke and I hold the branch up, our knees trembling with effort. Amani and Mia duck beneath the branch, and then ever so carefully they drag out a frail and broken body and carry her clear of the leaves under which she'd been hidden. Cindy Beacon, soccer star Cindy, who helped save us, who was swept away by the flood. She's alive. Chapter 39, A Better Idea. Cindy is alive but badly injured. We can't tell for sure, but it looks like she has broken bones in every limb. Probably broken ribs too, because she can't take a deep breath without crying out in pain. I'm frantic to help her, but don't know where to begin. Amani is the calm one, gently touching her fingers to Cindy's wrist and bending low to hear what she has to say. Her voice is weak, a little more than a whisper. She wants to know if Sky and Tony are okay, Amani says. Mia's face falls. She shakes her head and says, We're sorry to have to tell you this, Cindy, but they didn't make it. Good answer. That's all she needs to know now. Amani listens as Cindy tries to speak, her voice barely a whisper. She doesn't remember the flood, Amani tells us. The only thing she remembers is waking up under this tree and drinking rainwater from the leaves. Then hearing voices, us, and using all her strength to cry out. She thought she was dreaming, but she had to try. Tell her she saved us. Without her, we'd never have made it up to the cliff. You just told her yourself, says Amani with a tense smile. Her hearing is okay, but she's very weak. She needs water immediately. And Mia, can we prepare a meal? She has to be starving, even if she doesn't feel hungry. Of course. Mia shrugs off the backpack, retrieving the essentials. Deke and I search for dry wood and kindling. He hasn't said much since we found Cindy, but his eyes are troubled. You saved her. Feel good about it. What if she dies? He whispers, not wanting her to hear. We won't let that happen. You don't know what will happen, Daniel. None of us can. He's right, of course. Here I am trying to cheer him up, and he points out that I'm full of baloney. Somehow it's not an insult, it's stating the truth. The fact that Cindy Beacon survived the flood is a miracle, but it doesn't mean we know how to keep her alive. She needs EMTs, not a handful of sixth graders. That will only come with a rescue. Where are they? Why haven't they found us? Deke notices me searching the empty sky. They must think we're dead, that nothing could have survived the dam breaking. Nobody knew we were rafting the crazy, I point out. Deke shrugs. It doesn't matter why they haven't found us. What matters is we're on our own. We can't assume we'll be rescued. I thought so at first, but I was wrong. I point out that he was the one who was so sure we'd be found in a day or two, that there was no reason to ration the food. I was an idiot, he said contemptuously. I thought it was all a game. We've gotten good at building fires, and soon the water's boiling and Mia is making a meal. One of the last few. She adds extra water to make a broth for Cindy, because that will be easier to swallow. Amani helps her get down a cup, and the effort makes her so exhausted that she falls asleep. Amani joins us at the fire and keeps her voice low. I'm no expert, but her pulse seems weak. She needs to be in a hospital. Two choices. Mia sounds fierce and determined. Stay here, take care of her as best as we can, and hope to be rescued, or bring her with us. How can we move her without making it worse? She hurts so bad. Good point. Maybe staying is the best way to help her. No, no, no. It takes enormous effort for Cindy to make herself heard. She strains to lift her head, pleading with us. Bring me with you, please. If we stay here, I'll die. Her request can't be refused, not after what she sacrificed for us. The question is how best to move her. Mia suggests we find broken branches and make some sort of stretcher. But are we strong enough to lift her? Can we keep it up for miles? Stretcher won't work, Deke announces. Too awkward on the paths. Got a better idea? I'll carry her, he says. We stay together and we keep moving. Chapter 40. Not a good sign. It's amazing how useful a piece of blue tarp can be. Amani and Mia rig it into a carrier for Cindy, like an adult version of a baby carrier that Deke can slip over his shoulders. At Cindy's suggestion, they tie her legs together so they won't flop around. Tiny Dancer makes sense as a nickname. I doubt she weighs 100 pounds. Even so, Deke is the only one big enough and strong enough to carry her. Once we start, I'm going to let myself pass out, she says in a whispery, weak voice. Please don't worry. I'm not dying. It's my way of coping with the pain. Poor Cindy. I feel so bad for her it makes me want to cry. But I don't, because that would make things worse. We're trying to be cheerful and hopeful for her sake. No idea how long it will take to finish the hike, find the pickup location, and get her the help she needs. But we'll do our best. Our mission is expanded. We not only strive to save ourselves, we do whatever it takes to save Cindy Beacon. She's our hero. The terrible night is burned into my brain. I can still see it, feel it, taste the fear, and I'll never forget the look on Cindy's face as she pushed Amani up onto the cliff. She assumed she was about to die, and the last thing she did was save a child rather than herself. She was terrified, but she did the right thing anyway. That has to be the true definition of courage. Ready? Mia asks. I'll go first and make sure the path is clear. Daniel and Amani, you follow Deke and help him if he loses balance. Deke takes a deep breath, braces himself. Let's do it. True to her word, Cindy passes out before he's taken 3 steps. Best thing, I guess. Not that I can imagine how much it must hurt. You okay, Deke? His expression is grim and determined. Got it. No worries. I can do this all day. If I had to carry 100 pounds on my back, I'd keel over for sure. But Deacon Bailey keeps pace with Mia as if it really isn't a problem. Amani pays close attention to the unconscious Cindy, making sure she's still breathing. I'm watching Deke's legs and feet, ready to prop him up if he loses balance. Nobody talks much. Nobody sings. We're focused on our mission. Despite being scared that we'll fail, I feel better than I have since that first night on the beach before the flood. We're doing the right thing, working together to help someone else, and it feels good. That makes me stronger, more confident. Is it possible that getting picked for the leadership program wasn't a mistake? Did some adult see something in me I didn't know I had? Daniel Redmayne, born leader. Ha! What's so funny? Amani asks as we hike along, bringing up the rear. Nothing, just thinking. About what? I never thought I could do stuff like this. Like what? Survive in the wilderness. She grins. Me neither. Maybe my father had the right idea. Not that he wanted terrible things to happen or people to die, just the part about me being on my own and speaking up for myself and making friends. That part has been good. The ground beside the river gets steeper and trickier as the crazy dips through a series of rapids. Then it levels out for a while and the river widens. All the while, Deke remains sure footed and strong. He refuses to take a break. She's getting weaker, I can feel it. We have to keep going. Oh no! Exclaims Mia, who is out ahead by 10 yards or so. I catch up to her. What's wrong? And then I see what has her spooked. A black bear with its front paws in the river. It stares at us with glittering black eyes, snorting and shaking its head from side to side. Not a good sign. Not a good sign at all. Chapter 41. Never Play Dead. What do we do? They're asking me because of what I did with the mountain lion. I'm not sure. Off the top of my head, all I really know about bears is you're not supposed to run or get between a mother and her cubs. The bear starts making a huffing noise. It sounds ticked off, angry, and it shuffles around directly facing us from about 30 yards away. Give me a hand! Quick! Deke needs help lowering Cindy to the ground. What are you going to do? I don't know. Something. The three of you keep her safe. Before I can think to stop him, he slips around Mia and takes a position between her and the bear. He raises his hands over his head, making himself as tall as possible, like we did with the mountain lion. Go away! He shouts. Leave us alone! The bear responds by standing up on its hind legs and baring its fangs, making itself taller than Deke. Not good, Deke! Be careful! I'm racking my brain trying to remember what little I know about bears. Black bears like we have in New Hampshire. I've seen a few, but never close up, and never standing on hind legs to full height, looking plenty dangerous with dripping fangs and claws displayed. Mia, Amani, and I stand guard over Cindy, who is moaning but not fully conscious. I doubt she knows what's going on. We link our arms, forming a human wall to protect her. Go away! Deke shouts, his voice booming. Get! The bear waddles closer on hind legs, front paws scratching the air. Deke, I just remembered something. If it attacks, fight back. Don't play dead. Never play dead. I'm not sure what he hears, what I'm saying. He's so focused on standing up to the bear, not backing down. His hands are fists. His chest is pumped out, and the muscles on his shoulders and neck are tensed. He looks plenty scary to me, but the bear doesn't seem to be impressed. It advances another step, spittle pouring from its open mouth. Deke stops shouting words and makes a roaring scream, a human growl. The bear responds by dropping to the ground. It scratches at the ground to show the power of its claws, and then it puts its head down and charges at Deke. I'm pretty sure that if it was me standing there, I'd have cut and run. Tried to climb a tree or maybe jump in the river, even though I know a bear can't be outrun or outclimbed. But not Deke. He doesn't move an inch. Bears look kind of slow and ambling when they're walking around sniffing at stuff, but when they charge, the speed is unreal. This bear comes at Deke like it's been shot from a cannon. It crashes into Deke's legs, sending him head over heels to the ground. The bear skids to a stop just in time to see Deke leap to his feet, pumping his fists over his head. For some reason, that freaks the bear out. It moans, head shaking from side to side as if unable to decide what to do next. Then it bolts into the woods, as if running for its life, and vanishes into the trees. We're safe! Deke! He's down on the ground, with both hands around the lower part of his right leg, holding tight as blood gushes from between his fingers. Chapter 42. Look up at the stars. Mia digs into the pack and retrieves the first aid kit. Deke is the one who is wounded, but it's me who feels woozy from the sight of blood. A little of my own, like scraping a knee, that's okay, but someone else, all I can do is not barf. Amani takes charge because she passed a CPR course. She examines the wound on his calf. Not too deep. Deep enough to cut me. Deke sounds so grumpy. Who could blame him? Sorry. Looks like 3 claws grazed you on the way by. I'm going to open one of these antiseptic wipes and then we'll bandage you up. Fine, thanks. This will sting, Amani says apologetically. Deke grimaces, but doesn't moan or cry out. He may not be acting like a bully right at the moment, but he's still tough as nails. As soon as the bandage is taped to his calf, he gets to his feet and picks up Cindy's carrier by the shoulder straps. We need to keep moving. Sure you don't need a break? I want to put distance between us and the bear. Good idea. Great idea. Do bears return to the scene of a confrontation? No idea, and no interest in finding out. We tramp along the river until the sun gets low in the sky, all of us disappointed that we haven't reached the pickup location by the end of the day, or been found by rescuers, and worried sick because Cindy is getting worse. Mostly she's out of it, muttering about stuff that doesn't make any sense. Amani says it's called delirium. It happens when you're in shock, and I think she's been in shock since the flood. She must have have a really strong heart, or she'd be gone by now. We'll make a fire, keep her warm, see if she'll swallow some broth. Deke and I are on kindling duty. He's limping a little and trying to hide it. That was a brave thing you did, he snorts. Didn't feel brave, felt stupid. Whatever it worked, you got rid of the bear. Next time I'm jumping in the river. Bears can swim, I remind him. So can I. I get the impression he doesn't want to talk about it, so I stop pushing. But I'm wondering about bullies, who they are and why they act so mean. Have they been bullied too, or do they just enjoy it? Can they change, or are they bullies for life? The sneering part of Deke still shows, but he's mostly sneering at himself, and he hasn't said anything cruel since Tony fell from the cliff. I'm starting to think it isn't an act, that this is the real Deacon Bailey. He had this haunted look when the 3 of us were explaining about being friends for life, like it was something he wished he could share in, but didn't know how. With the campfire growing strong, Mia heats up water for our last freeze-dried meal. That's it? It's all gone? She shakes the bag. Final ration, but I'm not worried. You want to know why? We all do. It finally stopped raining. Look up. Those are stars. We look up and find ourselves staring into the Milky Way. Billions of stars strewn like jewels across the big Montana sky. I get a lump in my throat. Not sure why. How can something so beautiful make you feel a little sad? Maybe because it points to the end of our ordeal. Surely clear skies mean they'll find us. That will be the end of our great and terrible adventure, struggling to survive in the Montana wilderness, teaching ourselves how to tame the crazy river, the killing river, making grown up decisions and grown up mistakes, being given the chance to balance the tragedy by saving one of the adults who tried so hard to help us. Thinking about it makes me feel out of breath, or it could be the smoke from the fire. Get some rest, Mia says to Deke. We'll need your strength tomorrow, and maybe your courage. Yes, boss. Mia responds softly but firmly. I'm not your boss, Deke. I'm your friend. I lie down beside the campfire, staring at the embers, and trying to slow my mind down so I can sleep. I get this flash, more like a visit in a time machine than an ordinary memory, of Dad tucking me into bed. I was about 4 years old, and still afraid of sleeping with the lights out, afraid of things that might be hiding in the dark. I can still feel his hand on my forehead, smoothing my hair away, as he smiled and said there was nothing to be afraid of, and that everyone had nightmares now and then. You're in charge of the light, he told me. If you feel better with it on, leave it on, and don't worry about it. Don't worry about anything. If only I could do that. Not worry about anything. The sound of the whispering river puts me to sleep.